Just give me the money. Take it out of the register and give it to me.
I'm sure this case can't be that bad.
You sure?
110% positive.
Well, whoever he is, tell him I don't give a damn. You two go scram.
Either way, Walkie is being accused of aggravated theft and assault. Sorry, could you do a card trick for me, Top Hat? I'm getting a little bored.
I would appreciate it if you could unhand my cap at once.
This is your cap?
I promised I'd celebrate my victory with him from a while back. Ah, Zach Gramarye.
Alright, so I definitely have evidence at my disposal. Maybe this trial will work out okay.
How are you feeling, Athena?
Not too shabby. Everything should be fine. So long as you have the files organized for me as you promised.
Don't worry. I organized everything last night, after the magic show.
Wait, wasn't your magic show held at 11 p.m. last night?
I'm a night owl. What can I say? Daddy doesn't really mind if I stay up late.
I see. Also, why do you keep calling Mr. Wright Daddy?
Oh, I guess I never explained that to you. Well, I don't really remember who my biological parents are. But I met Phoenix Wright after he finished a big case that was up in the Snowy Mountains.
Oh, were you the defendant of that case?
No. I was the defendant of the case after that one. I used all of my savings to have him serve as my defense attorney. And then, he saw how dire my financial situation was, and how I had no means of taking care of myself.
Huh. So he took you under his wing, and now you're well taken care of.
Yep, he's like a father to me.
Good morning, ladies.
Oh, hey, boss.
I just wanted to wish you both good luck in the case today. You two will need it.
Why do you say that?
You weren't filled in. You'll be facing against Miles Edgeworth. He's a very intelligent and diligent prosecutor. Needless to say, but Edgeworth is not your everyday run-of-the-mill opponent. You'll need to focus and think very carefully, Athena.
Jeez. I won't underestimate him, I promise.
I certainly hope not. But my friend and I are eager to watch you both no matter the verdict.
Friend?
Let me introduce you to him. He's a great friend of mine that I met at Ivy University when we were both college students. Christoph Gavin.
A pleasure to meet you, ladies. Mr. Wright has told me a lot about your potential as a lawyer, Miss Sykes.
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Gavin is a defense attorney as well. Right, Daddy?
Christoph, let's hear it.
That I am. I've been defending clients for essentially as long as Mr. Wright has been.
We graduated together, after all.
Huh. Well, I hope I don't let you guys down.
Just do your best, Miss Sykes.
Pardon the interruption, Mr. Wright. I have quite the story to share with you.
Is this the best time to do so, Edgeworth?
Well, I believe that Miss Sykes could potentially benefit from this knowledge as well. Not necessarily for this trial, but still.
I was already distracting Athena by discussing irrelevant things, but I don't want her preparations to be jeopardized further. As long as she's okay with you taking the time to share, then it's fine with me.
I would appreciate any information you could give, Prosecutor.
Very well. Oh, it's you, Mr. Gavin.
Why, it is a pleasure to be speaking with the Chief Prosecutor.
Yes. Well, perhaps I should continue preparing for this trial and take my leave.
Wait! You were going to share intel with me and Athena, correct?
All right.
Thank you.
That's pretty odd. Why did Edgeworth change his mind all of a sudden? I also can't help but notice that he seems dumbfounded to be speaking to Phoenix's friend.
After being charged for the murder of Brooke Cazzard, Jacques Portsman evaded the proceedings and got himself into fatal difficulties. Someone murdered him within this very courthouse.
What?
Oh my gosh!
My lovely cohort, Francisca, believed that his honor was responsible for the crime. I won't bore you with the details of the case, but she did have her reasons for believing so.
It sounds as if he wasn't the killer after all, thankfully. Did you manage to prove the judge's innocence?
Surely. Yet, a colleague of mine called me later that night and informed me that another prosecutor stepped in and arrested the judge, despite his cleared innocence.
That's so unfair.
What made matters worse was that my colleague felt responsible for my own failure.
Edgeworth, I know you. You surely tried your best.
You have to understand the repercussions of that case and why I am taking everyone's time to explain this to you, right? Remember our conversation?
This is about that phone call you had during the closing of my interview, right, boss?
When Edgeworth called me on the phone the other day. Yes, I do recall.
Do you see that a threat looms in the shadows, Mr. Wright? The legal system is being controlled. Someone is orchestrating crimes, and I have more than just a suspicion. They likely were involved in the judge's arrest.
Could you explain?
Perhaps at a later time. I've gone on for long enough as it is.
Yes, now is likely a nice place to stop.
So if the judge is being held in the detention center, then who will be leading this trial?
That's where the good news comes in.
Oh, do tell.
You can thank Francisca for this one. She was so furious the day after that unknown prosecutor halted her investigation and called for the judge to be arrested that she went straight to the chief of police. Using my abilities as chief prosecutor, combined with her interrogative side, we cleared his honor's name once and for all.
I should have believed so.
Is this the level of power that I'm going up against?
Yup. It's practically scientific just how perfect you are, Edgeworth.
Hey, I've had enough of you getting along with everyone except me. And were you standing here this whole time?
Is this a victory for us, Daddy?
Absolutely. Justice wins out against the unjust decision.
Now to focus on that awful Kitaki kid.
Defense team, the trial is about to begin.
I apologize if all this was a waste of your time, Miss Sykes.
It's all good. I'm just a rookie anyways. Everything you talked about is way above me.
No need to talk down to yourself, Athena. Now go and show Waki who he can trust.
Well, time to finally utilize my lawyer skills.
All right, here we go!
Court is now in session for the trial of Waki Kitaki. Defense, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Ah, you're essentially still fresh off the bar. Is that accurate to say, Miss Sykes?
This is my first case, yes.
Wow. I mean, you've got quite the uphill battle to overcome.
Okay, that's not cool.
Very well, and what of the prosecution?
Ready as always, Your Honor.
Quite the daunting task, taking on such a seasoned veteran, Miss Sykes. Such bravery.
Well, I consider it a challenge. And really, I'm sure Mr. Edgeworth isn't so tough.
You're a lot more daring than your mentor is. Whether that's a favorable quality or not depends on who you ask. But no worries. I have no intention of being intimidating.
I'm not so sure about this. We might just make a fool of ourselves.
The gallery laughed at me, so you're probably right. Is this what I get for being confident and happy to give this trial a shot?
Prosecutor Edgeworth, I was encouraged by Phoenix Wright to focus on helping my client above all else. If that means going up against you, I'm still going to try.
I don't intend to take that attitude away from you.
Perhaps there's been a slight misunderstanding of motives here. Regardless, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, if you would.
But of course. The defendant of this case is a young man named Waki Kitaki, known as a son of the Kitaki mob family. He is being charged with assault and attempted theft, to which this took place at the Borscht Bowl Club restaurant. We found his signature pistol at the crime scene with his fingerprints on it, along with a set of unidentifiable prints. We also have the security camera footage from that day, and our detective will go into greater detail with this shortly.
Very concise.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hold it! Prosecutor Edgeworth forgot to include an important detail.
Athena? I don't know what you're doing, but stop it!
What might that be, Miss Sykes?
The standard procedure for the opening statement must include the day and time in which the crime took place.
Wait, I forgot the date and time.
I suppose I should pay more attention.
Well then, according to the autopsy report, the assault and attempted theft are estimated to have taken place around 10:27 p.m. This was on March 20th.
Thank you. It is very important that we have that on record as being spoken.
I wouldn't encourage her to get hasty, Your Honor.
I hope Boss is using the restroom right now.
All right. Without any further delay, let's hear from the detective.
Please reveal your name and occupation to the court.
Emma Skye, forensic detective and scientific investigator.
Detective Emma Skye. I haven't seen you since the incident with your sister.
Times have changed, what can I say?
And Miss Skye, if I may ask before we proceed, how are you finding your forensic scientist position?
About that... let's not go there, Your Honor.
Ah, that's right. I feel kind of bad for her, despite how she treats me.
Now, relay your team's findings from yesterday to the court, if you would, Miss Skye.
No problem, Mr. Edgeworth.
My first cross-examination is about to debut. This feeling I have is really something else.
Get your A game on, Athena. Let's listen closely to what Detective Skye says.
First of all, we have a plentiful amount of evidence to convict the defendant. One of these being this pistol. It's the defendant's signature weapon, to which it contains his fingerprint markings. Furthermore, we have security footage from the night of the crime. It clearly shows someone wearing the same coat that this kid always wears. In terms of the actual crime, we suspect him of attempting to rob the register. However, he never got away with any money. Before he could escape with anything pocketed, the waitress at the counter attempted to call the police. This resulted in the defendant becoming hostile and assaulting her. And that's about it, everyone. Don't you see? This case is as simple as that.
Things aren't looking good for Waki.
It's fine. We just need to push her for more info. We'll find something in her testimony that can help us. I just know it.
Alrighty.
Hold it! How did the police know that this is the defendant's signature weapon?
Well, it has the Kitaki family crest on it. It bears the defendant's prints and initials as well. This is the real deal, Miss Sykes. Didn't I already tell you this yesterday?
Right.
It seems as though everyone is already aware of this.
My apologies.
It's quite all right. Please proceed with your testimony, Detective.
Hold it! Can you be sure that this coat belongs to Walkie? That could be anyone's coat, right?
If you mean to assert that there was another person with a similar coat, then please, present evidence to prove so, Miss Sykes.
I will do that later. Probably will, if I can get back on track first.
I guess your A game is taking a day off?
We have tested the defendant's coat. This resulted in a more thorough identification test with a piece of his hair that was found on the jacket.
That is all well and good. However, identifying a person with pieces of hair isn't deemed as very conclusive in the field of forensics.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is true, but when combined with the distinguishable jacket the defendant wears, it makes for a fairly conclusive evaluation.
Fair enough. Please proceed with your testimony.
Hold it! He never managed to steal any money?
Nope, we didn't find any on him. Nor did any money in the Kentucky Manor bear his prints. I made sure to have the manor investigated, just in case.
Also, I don't believe you ever gave us a motive for his actions, Detective.
We believe he was attempting to obtain money for this.
Huh? What's this?
This is Walkie's $100,000 debt to a loan company, a certain business by the name of Tender Lender.
What? How come no one ever mentions these things?
It seems as though the accused has acquired quite the price tag. Let alone with a shady business like Tender Lender, it seems as if he was in dire need of the money.
Yeah. We aren't sure what these loans are for, but the defendant took them out. There's no doubt about that. He's in debt. Big time.
Is there anything else you would like us to know before you take your leave, Miss Skye?
Not particularly.
Very well. A pleasure to work with you as always, Miss Skye. Please, do take care of yourself.
You too, Mr. Edgeworth. You're the best.
Well, the debt thing would have been nice to know from the beginning.
Right. Also, I am beginning to wish that I would have just listened to your dad's warning about this case.
Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth, it is time for you to select your first witness.
Of course. I would like to inform the court that the defendant wishes to testify.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, are you sure that the defendant would like to testify? He never mentioned his plan to do so with me yesterday.
Apparently, he wishes to confess to the crime.
Walkie!
No! This is ridiculous!
Very well. Maybe I'll be able to get home in time for an episode of Judge Judy.
I was not prepared for this. Please, Walkie, don't do anything stupid.
We knew Walkie wasn't exactly the kindest fellow, but I never expected so much anxiety from this guy.
This can't be happening.
In the interest of everyone's time, would the defendant please take the stand immediately?
Yeah, that's right! I'm guilty! Throw me in the slammer, man! I'm a cold-blooded killer, a real gangster, and I deserve those cuffs, man!
Objection! Your Honor, the defendant is clearly experiencing lots of stress right now. His words are not to be believed.
You lying to that old guy?
If I had a nickel for every time you spoke incomplete words.
I will make it very clear right now. This behavior is not tolerated in my courtroom. Things have gotten very out of hand.
Well then, I think the judge isn't all for fun and games anymore.
I'm sorry, man. Look, ladies, I know, y'all don't want me to get guilty. But I am, and I'm full of passion right now, bro!
What a strange young lad.
Well, Mr. Kitaki, how about you pour some of that, ample energy into your testimony,
You got it, Napkin Neck!
What? It's a cravat! It is high-class neckwear! Not some filthy piece of paper to wipe your hands on!
Uh-huh.
Is it too late to work as a psychologist instead?
Yo, man, when you're a gangster like me, sometimes you need to go out and get your street cred. Gotta get recognized. So in order to prove myself, I went out to that club. I was gonna rob that well dry, you feel me? When I got there, I held that girl at gunpoint like a real OG. She wouldn't give me my payout, so I fired a couple shots as a warning. 2 in the leg. No biggie, she'd live. Then I took the cash and left. And if you got any questions, save it.
My, quite the attitude you've got there.
Gotta be fresh, you feel me?
Yes, I feel ya. I'm as fresh can be. I have to keep up with the kids these days, after all.
Your Honor, the cross-examination?
Huh? Yes, please proceed. I need to put my foot down on myself, too.
Objection!
Waki, a word of advice. Never confess to a crime if you don't even know the details of the crime.
Are you stepping again, dog? I'll forward smash you!
Deep breaths, Athena. Mr. Kitaki, if you had been paying attention earlier, maybe your confession would have been convincing. However, if we look at the medical records, the waitress was bludgeoned by the pistol and not shot with it.
Huh? What doofus would hit someone with a gun?
Apparently not you. Unless you can explain this contradiction to me, dog.
Well,
Objection! I'm sorry to rain on your newfound parade, Miss Sykes. However, even if your defendant's testimony misaligns, the evidence is still heavily stacked against him.
Objection!
Even so, he clearly has no idea about any aspect of the crime. He has no idea what he's talking about. It's all a stunt. Don't you see?
Prosecutor Edgeworth has an excellent point. Also, what exactly are you attempting to conclude by all of this?
The defendant, Waki Kitaki, is clearly suffering from stress and anxiety. I believe there's a high probability that he is using displacement, the defense mechanism.
What on earth are you talking about?
You got this, Athena.
Waki is displacing his stress and anxiety to himself in the court, applying his emotions to his own actions. You see, this is why he's making a big stunt out of himself. He's going as far as to blame himself for the crime. Waki has been doing this since Trucy and I visited him in the detention center yesterday.
I made a mistake! I just forgot how I did the job is all. So many gangster crimes to keep track of, sometimes I get them mixed up. Yeah, that's all it is!
I'm sure that you've made your psychologist proud just now.
Oh, why, thank you.
Let's keep this momentum going.
The defense wishes to make a claim, Your Honor.
Proceed, defense.
We have decided to push for a full acquittal of Waki Kitaki.
Are you sure, Miss Sykes?
Absolutely certain.
So be it. Your motion is carried.
A daring move. You certainly take after your mentor in that regard. That was not a compliment.
Oh.
All right, then. I feel we have heard enough of the defendant.
What? No, I'm not done! I'm guilty, man! I swear!
You know how you get on my nerves. Bailiff, if you could please remove Mr. Kataki, that would be very appreciated.
Let me testify, man!
Now then, I believe we have time to spare for a short recess before our next witness. Defense, I would suggest you have a few words with your client. He seems to be quite out of control.
Will do, Your Honor.
Court is adjourned for a 15-minute recess.
Walkie.
Oh hey, it's you two losers! Get away from me, man. You ruined everything!
Why do you want this so badly? Why do you want to go to jail?
You wouldn't understand!
Walkie, I can tell how you're feeling. No one likes being locked away from the outside world. Believe me, I understand your act of displacing. Just help Trucy and I understand why you're so insistent.
Yeah, and you don't have to be so scared. We are doing everything we can to help you get a not guilty verdict. We may be inexperienced, but you can trust us. Really.
You two were mad at me yesterday! I know you wanted nothing to do with me, ladies! I gotcha!
I may have the shortest temper in history, but we're genuinely trying to save you. Why throw it all away on some petty crime? I don't even think he committed the crime. Not the assault, at least. Emma's information about his massive debt does lead to the possibility that he attempted to steal the money. Even so, I'm gonna trust that he didn't do it. Walkie, I can see his psychological struggle here. His behavior is coming from something.
My dad is changing everything, alright?
Huh?
He's getting off the crime industry. He's earning money clean now. I was raised in this cool mob family that just did what they want for the sake of the family, and it's all changing. People are walking out of my life left and right, and I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
I understand, Walkie, but please just understand we're trying to help you, okay?
We will get you out of this. And once we do, maybe you could have a talk with your dad about how you feel.
That's an excellent idea.
Okay.
All right, I'd say that our recess is coming to a close. Now let's go back in there and finish this.
Right.